Ever wonder what's really behind the headlines? Or why certain theories just won't go away? Dive into the world of the No Name Podcast, your go-to podcast for unraveling the mysteries of conspiracies, politics, and everyday life. Each week, we blend our opinions, analysis, with some storytelling to uncover the hidden layers of our world. From the latest political intrigue to the most fascinating conspiracy theories, we bring you a balanced dose of skepticism and insight. Whether you're a seasoned critical thinker or just curious about the whispers that swirl around us, we offer a space where your questions are welcome, and your mind can wander freely. Tune in, spark your curiosity, and let's embark on this journey of discovery together. The No Name Podcast, where every episode is a new chance to think critically and see the world through a different lens. Don't miss out. Subscribe today and join the conversation.
Hey, this is Jeremy.
What's up, everybody? It's Dustin.
It's your boy Trey in the building.
And today we have Dustin's cousin, Caitlin.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
We wanted to welcome everybody to the No Name Podcast this week. We got a cool episode kind of touching on spirituality mixed in, what do you call it, environmental or something? Is that what it was? I messed it up already.
Oh, my goodness. You're with the jokes already. Gotta love you.
Naturalism.
Naturalism. Okay, there we go.
Spiritualism.
Yeah.
I just call it spiritualism. Spiritualism. Naturalism, whatever you
Well,
call it.
you know me, I've never been a great one with
I
words,
got
but you know.
Oh, you're
Right.
good. Let's just start off, though, by saying that we wish we were on good old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. There's
I mean,
no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top.
I wouldn't mind living in Tennessee, but I will never root for a Tennessee. So, you know, I would love to retire there one day.
I
That
hope
would be
so.
pretty
Tennessee
sweet.
is
hope
where you
I
want to
can.
retire?
I hope I
Huh?
can.
Tennessee?
I mean, just the mount. I mean, if it wasn't Tennessee, even North Carolina, North Georgia, I'm good with it.
Where
you know,
the hell do you want to go?
Hilton Head.
Hilton Head.
Hilton
Yeah.
Head.
That's what all the old folks are anyway.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
I would
I've
love it.
never understood the concept of the beach. And here's why.
What you mean? The
Here's
concept
why.
of the beach.
Listen. Here's why. Because I've worked outside a lot in my life, and I'm going, to me, what is fun about sitting in the hot sun
That part.
all day?
Let me tell you,
Not in the shade at all. I'm just going to sit on
you
the
have
beach
umbrellas?
in the shade and sweat.
Trey can say whatever he wants, but he has one huge advantage over me and you. And that is he does not have to worry about the burn.
Not as bad.
Not as bad.
Not as bad. I've been jet skiing and then looked at my whole shoulder. I'm like, what is this rash? It's like, oh, you have a heat burn. And then my skin literally peels off. I'm like, man.
That sounds terrible.
But I don't have to put on as much sunscreen.
Yeah, I'm telling you what.
I'm just going to be honest. I've never felt right asking. I would
You
never
can
feel
ask
right
me.
asking, do you get sunburnt?
Yes, I have skin.
That sounds racist.
No, it doesn't. No, okay. And as we progress into the
it's
episode,
not racist.
It's-
I said it doesn't
if
sound
you
good,
don't-
Jeremy.
if you don't know, and let's say for instance, I always tell people, you are what your cultural experiences are, right?
Yeah.
And if you've never experienced another culture deep dive or been around it a lot, then you have the right to ask.
Well, I'm
It's-
saying, I
ask
grew
the right
up
people.
around
Just
them
ask the
my
right
whole
people.
life. But
I
I'm
mean-
saying, I heard somebody ask somebody that one time in school, and that girl looked at him and said, "What the do you think?"
Well, and see,
and he's like, I was like, I'll never ask
No,
that.
and you
I'll
ask-
never ask that.
you
question."
ask friends in private.
yeah,
I was
you
like-
ask a friend. I mean, I asked it on a
Shamed
podcast.
him.
I mean, I didn't even ask it. I just told you because I already know.
Right.
You know, but because I asked.
And just like off mic, I was sharing some of my cultural experiences that it just was forced upon me.
I mean, you were telling me about some of my cultural experiences
That's
that I'm uncomfortable
I'll tell
with.
you, I'll tell you.
I don't want any part of it. Oh my
I will say this: when I had a black daughter, I learned how to take care of her hair.
See, you already better than me. I don't
mean-
touch it.
God.
I
That
Can't
was
even
the-
take
that
care of
was-
my own hair.
That was a huge learning. That was a huge learning thing.
No, it is, and I don't touch my daughter's hair
Yeah, I don't blame you. That, I
No.
mean, that's
too much.
That's too much. Yeah, that's a lot.
Let her be free.
All right. Well, I don't know. I guess Caitlin, if you want to take us in here, what we're looking at today.
So,
I was going to say, I think you can start off by just kind of sharing your story of how did you, or when did you first learn that you were waking up, so to speak?
it was more of like a connective thing. Like you feel different. You feel like maybe you're searching for something or that's outward. And it first started with like trying to find ancestry and where we came from and like the lineage of all of that, and like just feeling like I was needing to be at home, and I just didn't feel at home where I was, even though that I've lived where I grew up my whole life. And it was just, I went down this whole deep dive of going into like ancestry and sending my DNA off to be tested, which, you know, scared me to death.
Hey, we got a sidebar. Did you see the 23andMe?
Yeah, they had it. I didn't do that one. I did
Oh,
Ancestry.com.
yes.
Yeah. Did you see the breakout they just had?
No, what
Like-
do you mean breakout?
Like they had the data
I did.
breach.
I'm not worried
Yeah,
about that.
she saw that.
You
Yes.
saw it? Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
And
We
all
talked
the
about it
board members.
Yeah, we
stepped
talked
down.
about it on this show about they were trying to convince me that 23andMe is okay, and I'm like,
No, I said I did Ancestry.com.
they're all the
Yeah,
same.
Matthew,
You did see?
I
They're
did
all the
Ancestry.
same.
We
I
did
didn't
it- we-
convince you that
no.
they're okay. What I said was
No.
is they all have your DNA anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
We did Ancestry.com. So continue because
Congratulations.
Thank you. Safe so far.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So
You said that. I was like, ding.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally sidetracked Jeremy.
well, my brother did 23andMe
Oh.
because he has like a autoimmune or something like that, and that's why he did it. He's always thinking there's something wrong.
Right.
But I was doing it to try to track down my lineage, see where like we came from, because I always felt very connected to Ireland, Scotland, like that part of the country, and I just wanted to know. I felt like I needed to know because I wanted to go back there.
Were you from there though? Or did you find out where are you from?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Okay.
My tree, as you know,
Yeah.
you've used Ancestry, like you have to get little clues.
Right.
And you click on the clues and you go through and you figure out who actually is related to you.
Right.
And while you're doing that, you have to like contact other people in your family
Yeah.
to, verify. So I went through all of that, and not the timeline, but like the clues just cut off completely, nothing else after like whenever it started getting into like the 1600s, like 1690s, 1700s.
Like your family didn't exist anymore?
Yes. Like there was like no more clues. There was nothing else for me to click on. And I'm like, why? But what is up with that? And so I just found that very strange. And I'm like, there has to be a reason. And so
Are you an alien? No, just like did you get dropped here? Did you find out? This is I am
We haven't
curious.
found out yet. No, we haven't found out yet.
Are y'all
But-
kidding me?
no.
But the cool part is,
And I have the app on my phone. You want to see?
I mean, we can definitely see in between. Wait, hold on. You can't just breeze past this. So your family legacy stops in the 1600s. There's nothing, no more information.
I haven't
there
looked
was-
into it yet. She told me that, and I was like, we got to look into it more. But
So we kind of went down a rabbit hole.
we've kind of went down a rabbit hole with each other too, because when we started reconnecting and everything, that's whenever I started remembering a lot of the stuff that I had suppressed when I was a kid
Mhm.
about my spirituality and how I was connected to the earth as well.
Mhm.
And I started remembering things, and it was just, it's hard to explain too, like the certain memories, how they connect. Yeah, it's freaky, man. It is.
I'm just doing some.
It's freaky.
I'm writing. I'm paying.
But some of the
notes.
stuff that we've talked
crazy.
about and connected to, we're just kind of piecing it together ourselves and asking other family members stuff too. But
Right, but you can only go so far
can only
because
go
the
so
older
far.
generation is now
they're
gone.
they're dying off.
So what did you discover as far? I mean, if you can only go to the 1600s, and what did y'all discover about your spirituality? I know you were sharing a little bit before, and then I guess similar. Are y'all having like the same similar spiritual experiences,
Mhm.
or
We're
I mean,
here recently since
for the
we
most part.
reconnected,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
okay? Explain what are some of these spiritual experiences?
So whenever I first, it's kind of strange to describe, but I was having dreams, you would say,
Okay.
and it was about a memory that I had whenever me and Dustin were little, and it was whenever we were in front of his grandparents' house, which were my great grandparents, and we're sitting out on the swing and we're just chilling, just like kids, just playing, and I am not in my body. I'm overseeing this memory. So I see us down there and I hear us talking about a tree that's like across the road.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like an old tree. And we start talking about how it's seen, how much it's seen, how much history it's seen, and what it's experienced, and things like that. And I just kept having this dream on my own for several nights.
The same dream.
Yeah. And it was just like I'm supposed to be getting something out of this. I'm trying to be told something. And so I only seen Dustin at like funerals, which is an awful, awful place to like reconnect.
Normal family stuff.
That's normal family.
Right.
I mean, that's usually when we have our reunions.
Which is the worst
Like
thing
funeral
possible.
and a reunion. All right.
right, yeah. So, we started, I finally just reached out to Dustin and was like, hey, it's just weird. I was like, I just want to ask you a few questions. And so I just asked him a few questions, kind of told him where like I stood, and like I just kept having this dream over and over. And then it's like the same night that I reached out to Dustin, he had the exact same dream.
And I could
Wait,
actually describe things in my dream.
Did you tell him the dream?
Not like in specifics. I
He said,
told him that,
I had a dream.
yeah.
So I started telling her specifics on little things that I saw, and she was like, "Oh, yes, that's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I saw."
So she don't tell you the dream. She just
No.
said, I had this dream. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And you say, okay, yeah, cool. You go to sleep and you have the same dream.
Yeah.
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 And he'll text me the next morning.
Yeah,
Like,
I tell
oh my gosh, I have to tell you this and this.
Are you having the same repetitive dream too? Is it,
No,
okay.
my
Not
dream
anymore.
No, not
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
dreams have been completely different since. Like it's odd because there's not really dreams. Like when I actually go to sleep, I don't dream. So, but if I meditate, that's when I see these. And they're
When you
very,
say see these, what do you mean?
that's when I see these visions of it's like a dream, but it's very vivid. Where like she said, it's like I'm out of body and I'm watching it. Like
Okay, so more like astral projection
Yes.
type dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Exactly
I'm
it.
dreaming about Burger King.
Right.
Wake
No.
up.
Right? No,
That's usually
not
my
at all.
dream.
Not at all.
We dream of them cheeseburgers, you know?
The only time where it's not that way, where I'm actually watching myself do it and I'm actually there experiencing, is whenever I was my recent ones where I'm talking to this old man.
Mhm.
And you guys didn't grow up together, right? It was.
I mean, we hung out sometimes, but not every day. It was like
Just randomly.
yeah, randomly. She'd
So-
come over.
Is the dream like about one of your family members, or was it about something different?
Which one? Like
Like the
being-
first one that you're talking about.
it's just being her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally like, and I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, there's something here and I'm missing it. I was like, I can feel that I'm missing it. And so like, I was like, I need your help.
Right.
And, you know, at first I was like, you know, he's not going to understand. He's not, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like,
Yeah, because I had
Okay.
never told anybody in my family because I was like, if I tell people this kind of stuff, they're gonna think that I'm crazy. You know what I mean?
right, or laugh
They're
at you,
not gonna
judge
believe
you,
So-
that kind of thing.
So I'm laying out this for the audience. 'Cause
Okay.
this is blowing my mind. I'm trying to capture.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So y'all grew up traditional family since like only seen your cousins
yeah,
on
Right.
yeah.
family reunion. Maybe they come over for Sunday dinner
Right,
every
right.
blue moon.
yeah.
Just
You know, when
visiting.
they want to feel like a family, right?
Right.
But then y'all both have astro dream projection experiences. Has anybody else in your family? Oh, and hold on, let me put this as a caveat because to me this is the most interesting part. We still don't know exactly where your family is from.
Right. We
Right.
have ideas,
Not
because-
the origin.
And see,
Right.
and see, that's unique for me because you know, obviously, me being African American, my traditional family sense is a little jaded, a little bit through history, for obvious reasons. But the fact that y'all can't find yours is then y'all both are having these astral projection dreams. I just wonder
Yeah, we kind of have an idea.
what you got. I'm
I mean,
curious.
We have an idea of
It's
where
a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's just a rabbit hole. So we have no proof or no,
Yeah, yeah.
like but we've also been told from different people, oh, you know, we came from here and we came from here and we came from here.
Are any of those places where people were doing, or I guess writing about this type of stuff?
I don't know
I
that.
don't know that. For sure.
Oh.
We don't know that for sure.
Hmm.
But we do know that we have ties to like the Native Americans.
Native Americans, pagans like Scotland, Ireland, things like that.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Celtics used to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys were talking about the beach or something like that. Like I could not survive on a beach. I would never be able to
Yeah, I'm too pale.
retire.
I mean,
there.
you won't be pale anymore. Trust me.
I have freckles all over the place. So I
Yeah.
would just
You'll be all right.
multiply my freckles.
The beach heals.
The sun heals,
It
not the
does.
beach.
The salt water.
Well, both.
ocean heals.
You can pee in the ocean for free. You can drink the water for free.
I don't think you
Okay.
can drink the water.
I don't think
Like,
you're
I mean, that-
Hey, be easy, everybody. I didn't say it would be good for you.
do you drink the water when you
Hey,
go to
no,
the
no,
ocean?
I do whatever my heart desires because I'm in my safe space. All right,
Oh
the
my
beach
gosh.
is my safe space.
Do you know what the fish do in that water?
Do you know what humans do in that water?
Yeah, that's the worst part.
You want to know? I really
It's the
upset my
cleanest
kids.
thing.
So I used to be into the saltwater fish tank hobby. Huge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have like 180 gallon saltwater tank, like the whole nine, the reef tank. And when I took my kids to the beach for the first time, they're like, "Oh, look at all this foam at the front," and they're playing in it. And I'm like, "Guys," I said, "You ever seen my protein skimmer on my fish tank?" They're like, "Yeah, it's so disgusting." I'm like,
That's what
"That's removing the pee and the poop from the fish."
Oh, all that white stuff that come up.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That's what all the
You know,
foam
that's
is
what that
from
is.
the ocean. That's the ocean's way of removing
got so much teeth.
all of that, all of the pee and the poop from the fish. All the disgustingness.
Let's get away
like,
from the
oh my
pee and the
gosh.
poop talk for a minute. You want to hear something else that
Yeah.
was interesting about that dream though?
Go ahead.
So I think I told you guys this off mic the last time, like when I started telling you guys about all this, about how I used to see shadow people, right?
Okay.
So
But you didn't say. I don't remember the shadow people.
okay, maybe I didn't tell you that. Maybe I told Jeremy that. But when I was growing up, even after this, even after me and her had this moment on the swing set talking about the trees and stuff, later on, as I got older, I used to see shadow figures going up and down the hallways. They would go up and down the hallways, down into the bathroom, come back up and down the hallways, down just out of my peripheral. And I remember I asked my grandmother about it one time, and she goes, "Those are just shadow people. They won't hurt you. They won't hurt you.
Like it was normal. It's fine.
Like it's normal. Just kind of we're just gonna brush
Wait,
it off.
what the flying flip?
We're just gonna brush it off.
wait,
That's
wait,
how it was.
hold on.
No. Wait. I'm not. This
gets
is where
better.
this right here is where it connects in, because in our dream of where we can see us on the swing set, off behind of where that swing set's at, there was a basketball goal there, and it caddy cornered. Next to that basketball goal, there's a black figure standing there watching us on the swings.
Same.
Same.
It just gave me chills.
And so
Of
I'm
course,
going,
I seen
yeah, it gave me
before-
chills.
before Dustin saw it.
Yeah, it gave me chills.
In the dream.
Yeah, she saw the figure before
But
I
you
did.
never said nothing to him about the dream, the black figure.
I said something. I feel like something's watching us in the dream, but I didn't give specifics as to.
And then when
what
I
it
told her
was.
I saw the black figure there, I said, I can't see any facial features. I just see the outline of a person. And she's like, "Oh my God, yes, that's exactly what." And I'm going, I used to see shadow people. I used to see a shadow figure all the time. Very tall shadow figure. I wonder if it's the same dude. Same exact shadow figure that I grew up seeing in the house on that property. You know what I mean? Come to find out, I got another cousin who saw a little boy on that property.
Like ghost.
Yeah, at one point, and this is before I ever was even born and stuff. So
Okay. So I gotta ask because this is eerily similar. Okay, to like some movies that I've seen. Not saying y'all took this from movies or anything like that,
Right.
because I think movies reflect culture and realities of people. That these writers bite off from people. Like, oh man, they may listen to this podcast. Some writer randomly from Hollywood, and they go write about it. And then next thing you know, you're like, hey, that's
my story.
Right. And you'll get no credit for it because you can't prove it. But when I hear that, first of all, the dream, the king, I'm biblically thinking, I'm like, man, that sounds familiar because King Nebuchadnezzar has a tree dream as well, but it's not the same, obviously. But then he needed somebody to interpret it. Daniel goes and interpret it. Okay, and it was what Daniel said it would be. But then when I hear you talk about the shadow folks, the first thing I think about of astral projection is Insidious. Have y'all seen that movie? You seen it?
I don't know if I've seen it.
It is so. It's at first it seemed like a classical horror movie, but it's not. It's about this boy who can astral project, and what happens is he astral projects in his dream, and he gets too far away from his body that he gets untethered, and when he gets untethered from his body, a shadow figure, demon in this case, takes over his body, and it allows other demons. As it becomes a doorway for other demons to kind of hunt his family or whatever the case may be, and then his I can't remember somebody has to go back. They have to astral project and go find him, in the shadow world.
What is his dad or something?
Yeah, I think it was dad or and so when I hear y'all talk about this stuff in you know the conversation we had about demons and stuff, it's almost, and then it reminds me of another movie where I don't know if y'all know I'm a horror movie fanatic, sorry, but in Paranormal Activity, I think you see it like on the fourth one where the like a long time ago the family did something with the devil. And they have to wait. They only have girls, and they promise the devil that they'll have their first son, you know, first born son. But they don't have any sons up until this lady has one. And of course, the devil demons try to come get the boy, whatever, blah blah blah. And it seems like if your grandma's seeing the shadow folks, y'all seeing the shadow folks, other members on the family are seeing little hunted boys walking by. Could it be in your family that something else is?
Well, that's what me and her was wondering, and I've started asking people in my family certain things, but like I found out that my aunt said that when her and her sister were kids, they played with a Ouija board. Yeah. And
That's a no-go for me, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
And then
Not doing
she
that.
saw the same aunt that played with the Ouija board saw a ghostly lady woman in white come in staring at her brother on the bed, smiles at him, and then turns and walks out the room. And then when she asks my grandmother about it, her mom's just like, I don't know what you saw, but it's just it's fine. Don't
We're
worry
just going
about
to
it.
sweep it under the rug. It's fine.
And that's how my grandmother always was on things like that.
is your
but-
grandma still alive now?
No.
See, that's what we're saying, though. Like, anybody.
My grandmother too, before she passed, she started seeing a lot of strange things before she died.
Like
but,
what?
But people, and I mean,
Was this
Yeah,
on the
people-
same property?
yes, same property where I grew up at. Yes.
Do y'all still own this property?
No.
No.
Oh man.
No.
They tore everything down
Yeah. But
and built a new house.
I'd be
now-
interested to hear
now-
from those people.
Right?
I want to go.
medically,
Right?
I want to go.
medically speaking, before my grandmother died, she was supposed to have a procedure too because they said she wasn't getting enough brain to her or enough oxygen to her brain. So medically speaking, that could cause that. But if you connect it to all the other stuff that happened in our family before that, that leads me to go, maybe it's not. Maybe it's more spiritual. Yeah, there's a lot of strange things that happen in our family though,
I think
Is it still happening?
to a degree.
like
Not-
at your house, do you still see shadow people?
no.
You see shadow people at your house, or
No. Well,
I think y'all should ask those folks. Can y'all spend a night at that property?
Or just ask them, are you guys experiencing anything strange?
Yeah.
That would be interesting,
Boy.
just
And if
just
they
a question.
are, oh, we should spend a night on that property.
Can we camp out here?
We're not gonna be bothered. We're just doing research.
My aunt, the one that told me that her and her sister, messed with the Ouija board when they were kids and stuff. She did tell me that she is able to see spirits. That she's able to see.
Is she still alive now too?
dead people? Yes, she's still alive.
And she said she can see them now.
She says she can. Yeah.
Now, are you two still dream connected?
I haven't had a dream like that in a
Uh-uh.
while, but Trey was talking about astral projection, and I know that I can do that.
Can you still do it?
Yes, I can still do it.
Like you intentionally can do it?
Yes, I can. Wow. Just because my husband, he had a dream, and sometimes I can't remember where I go, but once I wake up, it's like I feel like dizzy or like
Mhm.
woozy or whatever. It's like I don't know, like something is like.
Do you feel rested? Like you're sleeping, obviously. Do you wake up and be like, oh, I'm tired because I've been traveling? Like, or do you
No,
just wake up feeling these side effects?
I just wake up with the side effects sometimes, and sometimes I feel like, whoa, let's go.
Right.
Like it's just like a boost of like, whew, all
Like,
right.
sometimes can you remember where you went and did?
Absolutely. Like I was talking about with my husband, he had a dream that we were like at a waterfall.
Right.
And like something from the movies
Yeah.
with the waterfall and the pool of water, and like we're down there swimming or whatever. And my husband says, "Did you hear that?" And I look into his eyes and I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, "It's time to wake up."
In the dream.
Yes, in the dream. I'm like, "Okay, it's time to wake up, baby. You need to wake up now." And we both woke up like very
same time?
Yes, almost
That
at,
is weird.
at the same time. And he sits up in the bed immediately and he goes, "Did you seriously just wake me up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he's like, "In my dream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And he was like, "Don't do that crap." He's like, "Don't do
That
that
is
crap."
now okay. Now I'm. You know what, Jeremy, you might like this. You like stuff like this. Y'all remember the stuff that they used to say that the CIA was venturing off and trying to get people to do stuff. Like you kind of see it in Stranger Things a little bit.
The MK Ultra.
Yeah, MK Ultra, and I wonder if they did get a group of people, or if we push the narrative here, that it's people that can naturally do it, and it's people that all of us human beings can do it, but it's people who naturally do it, and it's people who can be beaten to death almost to do it.
Well, I mean,
well,
the
when
fact that their heritage can't be traced back, maybe they're a product. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
That was crazy.
I'm leaning with aliens here. I think they was dropped off, and they
Yeah, I mean, I think
you're
you're 100% right though, because I think there are people. I mean, we've talked about it before that spiritually you're awakened. I mean, when you look at it like from a church standpoint, a lot of times they say you have to work on your gift of like tongues or whatever, and prophecy, everything else, and then some people have to work at it, and then some people just have it,
right.
And you could kind of be in the same realm where it could be one of those things where you just you have it, your family has it, you're brought up in it, you're just part of it, and then to me it sounds like there's something with this property that you grew up on, because it sounds like that's where a lot of the things were taking place, and I would love to know the history of that property,
Yeah,
like,
I would too.
before you guys owned it, whose was it, that kind of thing, and, I don't know if there's an online way of finding out a lot of that information now. Back in the day, you used to have to go to the county and start going through books or whatever, but,
Yeah. I mean, now we didn't own that property where I grew up. We rented.
right.
And we grew up in a trailer. I was poor.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
can't
our
speak
land-
for Dustin, but I know that my gifts have followed me wherever I go.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I'm not
Because-
saying that your gifts are tied to that property, but what I'm saying is a lot of the stuff seems to have happened on
About that property.
on or about that property, which, kind of makes you wonder what's going on with that piece of property, whether it's, because I mean, there's been plenty of, haunted properties where people have, and I've seen plenty of movies about it too, where they've torn down the house and then they built like a neighborhood, and then you got like the whole neighborhood is
Messed up.
quote unquote haunted or whatever, where it's just there's all these different scenarios that go along, because whatever that happens on that property, the spirit or whoever
It could
stays
have been like
on
the
that property.
disturbance of the land
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder
because of the new house.
did the house or the property rather trigger your gifts?
Right.
I'm not sure. I will say, I think, yeah, we don't really know what all happened on that land. I mean, because that property was pretty old. That the person who did own that property, they had lived there for as long as I could remember that they lived there, and at one point, him and his wife lived in a house behind the trailer that we lived. And then they tore that house down and moved across the street up on a hill. So I don't really know what all happened over there before they did that. I mean, who knows?
Well, I mean, what a
But-
spiritual awakening is.
Yeah,
I mean, what
yeah.
Trey's talking about could be exactly what it is that property may have been what kind of spiritually awoken you or whatever,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
I know that you had talked to me, and if you want me to cut this out, I will, if it's too deep, but, you had talked to me before about how one of your concerns was that, talking about what you're talking about makes you unchristian.
Yeah.
Where I see the exact opposite. I think it actually is exactly what they talk about in the Bible, from being one with nature,
Yeah.
all the way through dreams, signs, wonders, the whole nine. The thing that they teach you about in the Bible is that you don't follow those things, right? That's not what your worship is. It's not the signs and the wonders. That's not what you follow. It's about what you see through it and what you interpret it to.
Don't worship the gift.
Right. You don't worship the gift. You know.
Right. So what I was saying too, as far as being awakened, like reawakening, because these are things that I thought at a very early age, in a very young age, I thought a specific way, and I thought a certain thing, and then as I'm getting older, I'm told, no, that's not real. These are real. This stuff's real. That stuff's not real. This is what you're supposed to believe. It goes this way.
It's the same thing.
But
for
I
you?
don't think it's a
But who's teaching you that?
disconnected.
Is that a church thing,
I
or
think
is
everybody
that?
teaches everybody that. I think me personally, I feel like, and this is what I always thought when I was younger, I think that we are all given a gift of some kind.
Absolutely.
Now, whether you are in tune with that gift, I don't know. Maybe you were with me, I was at one point and it got suppressed and I forgot all.
What quote unquote religion were you raised in?
I was raised in a Baptist.
That's why.
Like Southern Baptist or regular Baptist or
Southern
what?
Baptist.
Southern
We in the
Baptist.
South.
Baptist and Southern Baptist
Are two
is
different.
I was
completely
raised
different.
in Southern Baptist, so I was always
shouting.
the reason I
Yeah.
never told anybody my certain beliefs or what I felt and how I was connected to this and that is because they looked down on it as when I said they're going to think of it as not being Christian
Mhm.
or not believing in God. They look at that stuff. They have a bad outlook on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the Southern Baptist. What about you? Are you in the same Southern Baptist, Caitlin?
I went to the same church, yeah.
Okay,
but
what
I have a different experience.
What about you?
I grew up, and see, here's the difference. I grew up in a mix where I grew up Pentecostal. Like I said, my mom was at the house casting out demons.
Mm-hmm.
I've been at churches where they shouted from the first song until it's time to go. I've been at churches like that where you don't say anything but amen. And and the amen better be like
It better.
amen. It better be
Amen.
no extra to it. I've been in, because I just grew up in a lot of mix. And I was always taught if you have gifts, if you was a kid, if y'all was like and grew up around me with these gifts, y'all would have been like revered.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, oh, we got to nurture them. We gotta promote,
bring 'em up.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is gonna be used for the kingdom of God, and we're gonna make sure you know how to use the gift. We're gonna promote you. We're gonna make sure that Satan doesn't use you to
Like support.
Yeah, it would have been totally different.
Yeah, same.
I would-
I've
happened.
never been supported.
Yeah,
Like, I
same
would've
because
been-
I grew up in non-denomination. So we, non-denomination is basically a little bit
All
of
of
this,
it.
a little bit of that, a
All of
little
it.
bit of that, a little bit of that.
they would have wanted to
Stone
talk,
you.
though. They would have wanted to talk the demons out of me.
Yeah,
You-
I
What
mean,
they would have wanted to do.
You're
I get it.
asking too many questions. You're asking too many questions.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got to be possessed. He's got to be possessed. He's got to be possessed, and he's hearing
you almost
voices.
Killed me.
That's what they were saying. That's exactly what they would say. He's hearing voices.
Right.
He's hearing demons.
And with your
They're-
church or older church though, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the youngest
Yeah.
person might have been y'all. Like
Oh,
The
young,
Yeah.
the young people were
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
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 And see, and what I've learned is a lot of even now, a lot of older folks. I keep my mind open. I'm never going to close to because I can't speak to what God is doing. I'm not sovereign. So I always tell people when people tell me something, I look at it and like, let me go back to the Bible. Let me see the scriptures. Have I seen this before? I know Joel says that in the end days of the last times, sons will have visions and daughters have dreams. I may be mixing it up a little bit, and so I know that is a gift. I know it's going to be out there. But then what the church tends to do overall is when people come say, hey, I got this gift and it's weird and they don't understand it and they bring it to the one place that probably should understand it. But because most pastors don't study or appreciate stuff like this because they don't, I always tell people I don't want the gift of tongues, but I'm not going to shut it down as far as I'm not going to say people can't do it.
So what does that mean? The gift of tongues. What is that?
So in a church standpoint, it's a
especially
heavily
Pentecostal.
a heavy language that no one is supposed to understand but God and an interpreter.
Interpreter,
So
yeah.
like you may
Did you
have
say like maybe light language?
what did you call it?
Light language?
Light language.
Yeah, like the light from the sun, the white light.
This is my first time hearing.
Yeah,
this.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so you
before.
have to break it down for me. Yeah, just what is light language?
So it's difficult. I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
But from what I gather, it's like, so like whenever you stand in the sun, you were talking about on the beach,
Yeah.
like you can feel like the rays on
Mhm.
you or whatnot. So whenever like you're balanced, you're like,
Mhm.
centered. It's one of those where you receive messages from the sun. The only way you can do that is through like the rays of the sun, the light.
When you speak, do you
So-
sound different?
Absolutely.
Like so for instance, in tongues it's some debate to this, by the way. So I'm gonna speak from my jaded point of view. So when we see it in Pentecost in Acts, all of the believers, the Christian believers at this time, right? They speaking the same language, but it's not necessarily the same language. It's if you're speaking Spanish, you can understand me through
Right.
Spanish.
Okay.
Even though Jerry may be German, I'm speaking, he's hearing German, vice versa. To me, that's what tongues is. But people have said that it is a heavily private language that all of us could have, and it's separate. So like your language to God is different than Jeremy's and vice versa. And it's supposed to be an interpreter around so that we can make sure you're not devil worshiping in the middle of a church. It should be something that was useful and beneficial to the church, which means if you start, let's say in this light language that you're using, when you're starting to speak in it, I should be able to understand and tell everybody at the beach, it's about to rain in 30 minutes. We need to get out of here. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a debate around that, but it still should be, to me, when you have kids with gifts and now adults with gifts, explore it to see, all right, God, why are people experiencing this? What is the purpose of this? Is this to help humanity? Is it help the church? Is it help better people? I always tell people that psychics and prophets are the same. They just one uses it for the Christian and one doesn't.
Yeah.
One gets paid and one technically should not be getting paid. And I say technically because y'all see the infomercials like I see them.
Miss Cleo.
Yeah, like you got this Cleo, and then you got a prophet that says buy this this handkerchief that I pray over and you'll be okay.
You got to have that merch, that prophet
So
merch.
that was supposed to be the difference, but now it's blurred. But I like to your point, Dustin. I truly believe that God gives everybody gifts from birth. Now he doesn't take gifts. If you go back to Adam and Eve, even though he punishes them, he never takes his gift. Look, he kicks Satan out of heaven. He doesn't take his gifts. Now, he does say when you die, I'll give your anointing or your spirit or reputation of your gift maybe to your protege or somebody. And every now and then, and you see late in Revelations, he'll say, I'll blow your gift out, which means, I'm going to get rid of you. But he doesn't, I don't see a lot of places in the Bible where he takes people's gifts. So if y'all ever think about it, y'all was experiencing this as kids.
Right.
So you didn't want this.
As a kid, I used to think I could speak to animals. I did that all the time.
Do you still think you can speak to animals? Like Dr. Doolittle type speak?
They don't talk back like that, though. I wish.
Maybe more of a Caesar Milan.
Right. I wish it was like that. But it's not. It's more of like we were talking, like a spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because as, what? God is everything and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. So we are also everything and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are, I have a story. So
okay.
As a child, I rode horses. Did it all the time. Never scared. Fell off, got kicked, all kinds of stuff. Never scared. So we went to this horse farm or whatever, and there was this corral panel, and they had wild Mustangs in there.
Wow.
And they were like, oh, don't go near that corral panel. Those horses bite and they kick and blah, blah, blah. She doesn't need to be over there. And of course, my parents were like, show me the horse you want me to buy.
Right.
And I'm just standing over there staring at them. And I'm just, as a child, of course, I'm sneaking closer and closer to the corral panel. And I finally get close enough and I can see my grandpa talking to the other guy. And I'm just standing there at the corral panel, staring at this one specific Mustang and in the eyes. And I just feel the sorrow, they're sad, they're scared, they're not where they're supposed to be, they want to be free. And I remember as a child that it was a very sad feeling.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably 7, 8,
Jeez.
9.
Well, I mean, they say that kids and animals are the same, as far as their openness,
right?
Their ability to, a lot of times when the connection. I mean, a lot of times you see where kids and animals, it's almost like they're having their own conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
And they probably could be, telepathically or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, because, it's not until you start growing up and strip it away, literally.
Right.
I mean,
We
literally
strip it from
stripping
ourselves.
it away. Yeah. I mean, your parents strip it away. I mean,
Right.
even because unfortunately with the world that we live in, you can't, run around in your butterflies and ponies kind of reality. You have to actually
I
be
do all the time.
well, I mean, you still have to be in reality of this
Fan bills.
screwed up world we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a natural progression of just stripping it away, and I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes because you start to question things too. And I think when your mind starts to question things, that you kind of strip it away from yourself a little bit too. And that's just a natural progression. I don't think animals ever really hit that progression, so I don't think that they
Maybe
really
the ones
ever
at the zoo.
well,
Right.
I got a whole thing. There's a whole
Oh my god!
there's a whole reason.
Now, did
I'm
you
not-
calm the Mustang? I'm curious.
So
What happened with
it
the Mustang?
walked to me, and I was able to pet it.
And I know the guy freaked out.
Yeah, he did. He was like, "Oh my!" He starts running over there, like like something was wrong. And I'm just like have my hand on the horse, and I look over, and it's like I broke concentration, and then the horse like backed up and ran off. But also this guy's running towards
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So
So-
he really broke the connection, really.
Right. And so like then my
But did he
friend-
see you touch it?
Yes, he
And
did.
and what did he say?
He was amazed. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" She was like, "How did you do that? What did you do?" Well,
Nobody's
like
been able
that.
to do anything with him, right? Nobody had been able to do anything.
No.
With him.
They have like they were fresh off the farm,
Wow.
so to speak.
Yeah. Yep.
So
She had that connection with animals, and I had that connection with trees and the wind and things like that.
So when you say you had it, because to me, I think the animal one to us makes a little bit more sense. But can you break down the tree connection, the wind connection for us?
The one goes back to there was a tree on that property
Yeah.
that I grew up on, a really old tree next to the swing set where we were sitting, and in the same day that we were talking about the tree across the street, I had gotten up and touched that tree, the old tree behind us, and the tree was really, really old, and it was leaning and everything, and I remember telling her that I could feel that tree sadness. I can feel how sad and old this tree is. The reason this tree is seeping so much tree sap is because it's sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know and remember until my aunt told me, like 2 days ago when I talked to her on the phone, my grandfather ended up cutting that tree down because it was dying. It was sick. And they ended up cutting it down. But I used to be able to feel stuff like that and connect. Like I could feel those in trees.
Used to or still can.
I don't know that I can right now.
It's been stripped away.
I think I'll be
Yeah.
able to. I do think I will be able to again.
If
I
you
mean, when's the
lean-
last
if you
time
lean
you felt
into
that?
It's been a while since I felt that. Since I actually went over and tried.
Are we talking like you were a teenager before
Yeah.
that, after
Yeah.
that? What?
Yeah, probably preteen. Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
ground yourself then?
Huh?
Do you ground yourself? You know what grounding means?
I've started since I've started meditating.
You know what
again.
grounding means? Jeremy?
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you guys know. I didn't. I learned what grounding was during COVID. So
Oh.
shout out to my white friends again.
Yeah, I'm learning all that now.
Yeah, because it just baffles me a little bit that y'all have these interesting connections. We can't trace your family back, and yet I bet I would say that there's more people in your family that's doing this.
I mean, I think that there are. I think that there's more people in our family that know how to do things. I think there's more people in our family that's been given gifts, and I think that those people are afraid to talk because, like me, I didn't know that there was anybody else in my family that had experiences like me.
So what made
So
you?
like I was sent to Dustin.
How?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Just out of the blue, she just
was sent
messaged
to
me
him.
one day.
So you felt like something was pulling you to talk to
Yes,
him?
Absolutely.
Like so you having these extra projections, you see this dream with the little black figure watching everybody creepy.
All right. So it wasn't. I didn't get like a. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't getting
scary
like
feeling.
like a scary feeling. The figure is more of just like grinning, like
You don't think that's creepy?
I don't
In a dream, I'm grinning at you in the background.
No, I don't, because it was more of like a joyful grin.
Okay, not like a sinister grin.
Right, not like a sinister one.
Okay, 'cause I think
So,
grinning
like-
sinister. I'm sorry, I'm negative.
Right.
Okay.
So, once Dustin said that he saw the figure, I kind of opened up a little bit more and was like, this is what I see. He's grinning. He's reaching out to us. He's trying to put his hands on our shoulders, like to bring us together. And so
So the figure is trying to put y'all together.
right. So like he cannot get close enough to us.
Right, obviously. Okay.
So like he's like wanting to. Like I feel it, you
Okay.
know?
And he's just like, so is it okay? I just want to see Lion King this week, so I'm big.
I love that movie.
No, I want to see. Yeah, the movie is awesome.
Yes.
You want to watch the live one?
Yep, and Fox.
I don't like that.
And the
I don't
Fox.
like the live one.
You got to go to the Fox and see it. I'm gonna tell you why. It's a very African. It's Lion King is African based.
Right.
All right. And the more I watch that movie, the more I realize this has never been for kids. This has always been for adults.
Yes.
And it's
I
it's
agree.
not a bad message for kids to get early. I mean, if you listen to Scar songs, he talks about being prepared, even though he's talking about killing his brother. He's talking about being prepared, something we need to do.
Yeah.
But if you listen to Mufasa and Simba's interaction, they talk about we're all connected.
Yeah.
And he says, we die, we go to grass, the antelope eat the grass, and then we eat the envelope, and it's a big, here you go, famous, the circle of
I was
life.
gonna say, I'm sitting here going, my favorite song in the whole movie is "The Circle of Life."
Everybody says, and I say, no, Scar's song is the best.
I
Even though
like
he's talking about
Scar's
killing his
too.
brother, be prepared. Like, that is my theme song. I'm gonna put that as my ringtone.
It is a good song.
I think I wonder this. I'm wondering if y'all should not dive a little bit more into African type, Native American type cultures where they felt like this, where they felt like there is this specific tie to nature that it breeds gifts. Now, I'll be honest. In the Christianity standpoint, they would never say you're connected to nature. They say you're connected to God, and then they'll use God is connected to everything, but they would never say, oh, you can talk to a tree.
The only two connections I know of that we have to Native Americans is on my grandfather's side. His family were connected to either Creek Indians or Navajo Indians. I don't know which one.
Did you? So on your
And
ancestors,
then on our other great grandfather's side, or my great grandfather, I don't know what Estelle was to her, but she was my great grandmother. Her husband was part of Native American.
so this is interesting. My great grandmother was definitely Native American. She told us, but on my ancestry.com, it says I'm 0%.
Yeah.
And so I always baffled
Interesting.
by this because they have pictures of our family in our full Native American getup, and in my DNA says no.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think y'all should. Have you seen that part of your origin, and they show you all the different countries you're from?
Yes.
Did it say Native American in it at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this
I don't
is.
think so,
I know this will be. I know this may be weird to say. Did it say anything African based?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mine was mainly,
Europe.
England,
Yeah.
Ireland, that area.
See, I got a lot of Germany and a lot of Ireland.
Me too.
I got a lot. Hey, don't say that, Jeremy. It's not good. But good for us, but historically not good.
I'm just a little lighter.
We may be distant cousins, and we know how we
Could
became
be.
cousins. But I just always think that, like when I hear people talk about now I got I'm further because Caitlin, you said you're spiritual. So do you do crystals? Do you do what's the spectrum of your spirituality?
So I think that across like all of it, it all has the common thing that we are all one.
Okay.
Okay, so like I don't want to say the wrong thing, so correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong. So like you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost,
So far you're right.
right? So like that is part of us.
Okay.
So like our soul is part of the Holy Ghost.
I remember having this conversation.
Like having
yeah.
it's like a comforter.
I mean, okay, when you say a part of us, what is it defined? Because I would say, yeah, generally
Okay.
Because
speaking,
like our
Yeah.
soul,
Yeah.
like
so we would say that it would be said that the very pneuma of God, the very breath of God is in us.
right,
you-
that's what gives us life.
Right, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
So that's what you're talking about, more so the pneuma, like the very life of God, the breath of God.
right.
But y'all would, but in the spiritualization world, they would call it soul,
Right. Yeah.
semantics.
Yeah. So when me and her had this conversation, I told her that I've always believed that I've always looked at it as it says in the Bible, I breathed my life into you. So he breathed his life into me. He created me in his image. I'm connected to him. When you have the Trinity, you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
If he breathed his life into me and I'm connected with him through my soul, he created the earth, he created the land, he created the wind, he created everything. All this is his creation. I am one with him.
And and that I think that line, and I'm just not me. That line can be very what's the word, Jeremy, in Christian church, Southern Baptist. That line is very
They call it blasphemy.
Yeah,
It-
it's
They
I
call it
wanna-
blasphemy.
I want to
religious.
I wouldn't call it blasphemy, but it's like a trigger line almost. You know what I mean? Like you're like when your parents say, "Hey, you're gonna get a whooping."
Yeah.
That's not the whooping yet, but it's very triggering for you because you can think about the whooping, right? I think when people hear that, they hear that you are God.
No, I'm not God. I'm not.
But I'm saying that's I'm trying to think what, because in my mind I'm like it makes logical sense. It's just how we're wording it. But then I think if the narrative is pushed further, which is because I'm entangled of sorts with the Holy Spirit, Jesus, God, or whatever, I am them, then I think that's when Christians start, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put the brakes on.
That's why I've always said they would look at my beliefs and what I feel, and they would say, "I don't know that you're really a Christian." Well,
But, you know,
it's
let me-
not really your
That's why I pumped
choice.
the
But let me
brakes.
tell
It's
you,
not really
I
your
wouldn't say
choice
that.
to tell
Well,
me that.
I'll tell you
Right,
this.
right,
It's
right,
like,
right,
you know, it's
right.
like I've told Trey 100 times, you know, when we've talked about different things, and I've even told you too when we've been talking about it, is that, you know, your walk with, you know, and your Christianity is your walk,
Right.
you know, because when you start breaking down all the translations and everything, so much has been lost over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, as a pastor, you can preach on what you believe is in there, and that's why it's so important for you to find a church that, you know, not just aligns with your beliefs, but that aligns with Jesus and
Right.
and kind of where you're at with that. And just because you think something,
Yeah,
you know, that's not like what you're doing to me is not like sinful.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, if you're trying to say, oh, I should be able to, you know, do drugs and beat my kids and, you know, whatever, and still go to heaven, you know, you might be able to find a church that aligns with that, but that doesn't mean that that's the right thing, you know. But what you're saying and what we've kind of been talking about, I don't think
I'm
goes
not saying-
against. I haven't seen where it goes against anything in the Bible.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying anything.
It feels
that
John the
doesn't say.
Baptist.
Yeah, I mean, and so
Feels like
for
John the
people to say that that's
Went
going to
away,
send you to
sexual
hell,
nature.
I would
No.
steer clear. You know,
No,
I would
where
steer
Very much.
what I'm trying to say is where people are going to get real cringy on it is they have a bad outlook on magic. Magic's in the Bible. Everything that I'm saying that I believe, it coincides in the Bible, and it coincides.
So why would you call it magic?
I was going to say I don't see the magic side of
Yeah.
it.
It mentions
so.
magic like 37.
No, I'm
not
not
the
saying
Bible.
it doesn't. I'm saying
like, what you're talking about. I don't feel like
no,
it's
no, no.
magic.
I'm just saying they
called it that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they look at it as
Witchcraft.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
they do, because
Are you a warlock?
huh?
Are you a warlock?
No.
Okay.
See, if you're
It's done
trying to
for
find
me.
a church that aligns with you being a warlock,
They have
that's
that.
not the church that you want to be a part of because that's not Christianity.
And I don't think you would call it. And you're see that's what I think for me is the problem with is most people look at the Bible and they look at it from the lens of which somebody gave it to them. They don't say, okay, it's like I always tell people, it's stuff I read and I'm like, what is this? Like, why is this here? And then I just don't understand it. So I sit with it. I'm like, there's nothing I can do with this. So I just sit with it. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. First of all, God hasn't told me yet. It hasn't been revealed to me. That probably never will because he doesn't have to do anything. But I don't cast it away and say, because I don't understand it, this is the devil.
Right.
Instead, I say,
Right.
all right, God, when I meet somebody who has an idea about this, we're going to have a great conversation because I'm going to have a lot of questions because
I'm just going to table this until
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I don't know. I can't. And what I always tell people, because it baffles me that your experience has been
Because that's where
negative.
I grew up.
Yeah.
That's the religion I grew up in. Of
I get it.
that stuff. That's bad stuff. It's witchcraft's bad stuff.
But then your grandmother.
And look at and you asked me, am I a warlock? No, I'm not a warlock. But if someone has the ability to do magic, to me, I look at it as that's a gift that's been given to you. But because you have free will, you have the free will to use that for darkness, or you have the
what would you consider magic?
I was literally about to ask that because I'm like, are we talking about chainsawing people in half on stage? Because I've seen some America's Got Talent that's
Like,
like,
this-
wow,
That's
you know?
what I'm talking about.
Or illusionist. Chris Angel to me is I was like, bro, I don't know what he is.
Are we talking about that levitating dude?
Right.
What is that guy?
That's Chris Angel or the other guy, David Blaine, or
Yeah, David Blaine. So
are you talking about
I mean,
those people? Or are you talking? What do
No,
you
you
say
know what
magic?
I'm talking about when I say
I do not.
no, I mean literally. I don't. What are you talking about?
Spells. Somebody that can do spells.
Well, see, I don't consider that.
Conjuring.
I don't. Maybe magic to me has been dumbed down to what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That see,
Like with a spell book. Like I'm
If
like,
somebody says, "Oh, they're into black magic. They're into dark magic." They're into dark magic because they chose to use it for darkness, or they chose to use it for the wrong thing.
what? Okay, so what y'all describing to us prior to that, I don't see as magic.
Right.
Now
That's
what
not
you're
magic.
describing now what you're talking about to me is a form of witchcraft,
Yep.
which I don't even consider magic. I would say it's the Ouija board stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's different stuff.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think to your point, throughout history, Christians have easily, when they can't figure something out, they're gonna say they're gonna throw it into the witchcraft bucket.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, let's slow down with dumping stuff into that bucket, because some of this stuff may be stuff we just haven't seen in a while as far as Christian. Like, if you had a vision right now and you called me and said, hey Trey, I had a vision about your family, the house is on fire, it spooked me, I just want to give it to you. I'll give you a prime example. I think I do have the gift for prophecy. I just don't call it that because I hate claiming gifts.
Yeah.
I don't want the gifts. Like, I don't even want the gift of preaching or teaching. Have it, don't want it. I just want to play Xbox better and stream.
PlayStation's better.
It was, but now I got my friend's Xbox. So that's what y'all getting for Christmas. Y'all can play the game with me. But so for instance, I give you a problem. It's a guy at our church, Collis. He used to own a wing shop, right? And it's right down the street from my house. So I go there, and it's like right before Christmas. And I said, hey, Collis, man, y'all doing numbers tonight? Y'all selling a lot of wings, bro. This is crazy. And I'm like, hey, man, like, do you have protection and stuff? Because, like, y'all making a lot of money, and, like, bro, like, just make sure you're good. Get my food and I leave. That same night, he gets robbed.
Oh, wow.
And he calls me and says, it's your fault. I'm like, bro, I didn't set you up. It has been so many situations like that where my oldest daughter, when she was pregnant with her second child, I'm on my computer working, I'm writing in paper for school. She leans back and like this much of her stomach is showing. I say, oh, snap, you pregnant again? When did that happen? And I go back to typing. That is the conversation. like 2 weeks later, she calls my wife and says, I'm pregnant. It's stuff.
It's your intuition.
See,
It's your intuition.
at first I thought it was that.
Absolutely.
And it has happened like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Where I'll sit here and say, they know about the situation. My house got shot up, right? Prior to my house getting shot up, my wife is having a conversation with our middle daughter. And I go downstairs, I'm playing video games. Here God says, go tell your wife that whatever your stepdaughter, my bonus daughter, whatever she's doing, she's going to either end up in dead or in jail. Tell her to stop doing what she's doing. So God, I'm not saying that. I'm not telling people. I don't like.
Right.
Don't send me that stuff. Send me.
Right.
Give me the lotto numbers. If you want to prove that this is a gift, and watch this. And I don't tell people similar to you because I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I go upstairs because God says He won't leave me alone. I'm not playing good on the game now because I'm just hearing His voice over and over. I get up. I say, hey, whatever Maya's doing, she end up dead in jail. God told me to tell you that. I'm going downstairs. You don't believe me? Ask my wife. Because I don't.
Right.
I'm
And
not.
she's probably like, what?
Cut to the
No, you're walking away?
She's so weird about it. She's like, oh, because she knows.
She better do it.
And so, of course, she calls Maya, and Maya's like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just doing me. 2 days or 3 days later, a house gets shut up. And the guy was looking for her.
Yeah.
Oh.
It almost took you out in
it
the
almost
process.
took me out in the process. And it was some more stories that happened about that. How God told me later, like a week before, I'm walking, trying to get in shape, need to probably get back to doing that. And God speaks and says, hey, I need you to get in tune with me now. I said, God, I am in tune with you. I'm like 95% there. I don't do anything. I barely drink. I don't do anything. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I just play video games and take care of my family and go to work and teach at church. This is as bland of a life you can get, God. He said, no. I said, you got a little lust problem, like looking at women a little bit too long, probably, or something like that. He said, I need all of it. I was like, God, I just scroll up on Instagram, like, oh, she looks nice. Stop doing that. Okay, it's not doing anything. I give up everything.
Don't you love it when he calls you out?
Yeah, he does. And I was like, man, it's
He
a
does
little
that to
bit.
me all the time.
It's a little bad. It's not big bad. This is a little bad. And so I give it up. And kid you not, similar, I'm going upstairs the night of the house about to get shot up, and I hear a voice say, stop right now and get water. And I got a disgusting taste in my mouth. Like, I'll just brush my teeth. I'll floss every night.
Right.
He said, no, do it now. I stop and get the water, and I get like a little kitty cup because I don't want to do it.
Right.
By the time I finish the kitty cup, which is like a shot, the house is getting shot up. One of the bullets hit the stairs. I would have been on the stairs.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like you start to realize that it is some gifts here
Yeah.
that I wouldn't call that prophecy. I was like, God is just talking to me. And what if God is doing the same thing there? I can't say, as a believer, as the person who studied the word, I can't say, that's witchcraft. These astral projection gifts. What is this? Because I don't understand it. You're going to hell.
Right.
I might go there first if I don't flow my role.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, when you start talking about potions and all that stuff, though,
I may lean into a little witchcraft.
It could be a little witchcraft, but I mean, then again, when you think about our modern day medicine, it's almost the same thing. It's like it's been a man-made
You know
Don't do
why?
thing
Don't do it.
that you
'Cause
that
they
you
can make
take.
money off of it.
Well, I mean, it's not just the making money, but I mean,
That-
you know, you take
It's a potion.
you take a pill, and your nose stops running.
yeah.
You take a pill, and you know your heart slows down. You take a pill, and you know whatever. You take a
Your
shot.
blood pressure
you-
comes down.
Yeah, I mean, like there's
The flu shot.
right.
You-
I mean, there's
you-
so many different things that you know
Okay,
have
so
been
let's-
created. Yeah, I mean, experiments. You know that that have been created for the you know human race and or just who I mean even animals. I mean, you think about how many medicines people feed their dogs now too,
Right.
and you know it's all kind of some sort of potion in a lab somewhere. But again, it goes back to what you were saying of you know black magic or using it for bad. You know, I mean, if you're you know, like voodoo dolls and all that stuff, you know, like even when I've been in, you know, when we took that trip to New Orleans, I felt such a heavy spirit
Yeah.
in New Orleans besides the smell of pee. I mean, just the
It smells.
Yeah, the
Ah,
smell was awful.
terrible place, but
I've been
I mean,
there.
just the, you know, I don't know, the air was so thick
the
and
air feels sticky.
I mean, it really did. And it's like, I wanted to wash it off of me. And it wasn't just the smell. It was just to me, it was almost like
Air, almost.
yeah, it was a thickness of,
It's the
you know, because
energy.
I mean, because isn't that like the voodoo
energy.
capital of,
Yeah.
you know, what they call the voodoo capital
United
or
States,
something?
maybe.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Maybe.
talking about of the
Yeah.
United States. Like,
Supposedly the voodoo queen lived there.
Did
you know,
about
like
to
I
say
was-
something? Were you about to say
Yeah.
something? Oh.
So, like, thinking about, like, the potions and stuff like that, it always just makes me think of, like, vegetable soup.
Oh.
I'm like, vegetable soup is a potion. Why do you make vegetable soup? It makes you feel better.
Mhm.
You make it when it's cold outside, when you're not feeling good. You put all different kinds of ingredients. You put carrots, potatoes, all of these things. And, like, back in the olden days, they made it in a huge cauldron.
Right. Look, I see what you
So-
did there.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I would say, see, when you're talking about stuff like that, I don't think that's what we think of when you think of black magic.
Right.
Even though natural type medicines, right, the herbs, the mixing of this, the doing this, may be potionous, but I don't think people would go that far to say that my great grandma or big mama and them they was doing
Well, I think
black
to
magic.
what Dustin's saying is like almost where do you
they-
draw the line?
well, they-
Because the thing is that so you have you know like even like the essential oils that everybody uses. Okay, it's like okay, mix this oil and boom, your feet stop hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Works.
or
Right.
you know, I'm not saying it doesn't
No, no,
work,
I'm saying,
but
yeah.
I'm saying like so. I think what you know to what Dustin was saying a little while ago is like where do you almost draw the line from this is you know clean magic versus like you know I'm using these things for good versus I'm using these things for bad. Is that where you draw the line? Like
Right.
so these you know like a chemical bomb almost. Okay, that's almost the same thing. It's a potion made up and it causes you know like a chemical warfare. So that would be something that would be used for bad. That's bad. But if you're you know mixing your you know lavender and your you know spearmint or whatever they call it, you know, and boom, your sinuses clear up. Good magic, you know. I mean,
Is that what you
That's what I
saying?
was just fixing to
Yeah.
say is you were saying, well, when I think of witchcraft and I think of that, I don't look at it. I don't see it that way.
Right.
Because you were programmed to see it this way.
I don't know, man. The Ouija
You
board
are.
is pretty. I'm just
You
saying
are.
the Ouija
No,
board is pretty
listen,
evil.
listen.
well, I mean
You
that's where I mean that's a no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And the reason I say that you are programmed to see it that way is because we were all programmed to look at witchcraft and say it's associated with this side of it and it's bad. But it's also associated with this side of it too.
And I guess I need a little more because okay, to your point is I am seeing it through a very Christian perspective, and I think when I like to Jeremy's point is like when I hear concoctions of medicine or like you put this with this like I try to eat or do more clean like 6 months out of the year I try to eat clean. And one of the things I do is I read so much stuff about if you put this fruit and this fruit together, you get this. If you put turmeric and lemon in this, it's going to clean you out like this. And if you're calling those potions and that's good magic, then I would say, okay, yeah, there's certain, if you're calling in that, I wouldn't call it that. Once again, I think it's a semantics thing. But I'm like, okay, cool. I can rock with a good potion because it's good for my body. It's natural. It's herbal. That's the words you'll say instead of good
Right.
potion.
Yeah.
And then if you're talking about, a person with a spell book or a voodoo doll and saying, I'm trying to make Jeremy run off the road this week.
Please don't do that. I don't have OnStar, remember?
Right. We'll find you.
Right.
But I would say then to me, that's just evil, period.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. But think about it from this standpoint too. Of Native Americans, they had their witch doctors, right, or their
Herbal doctors.
shaman.
Mhm.
If you were sick, you go to the shaman. His job is to connect with the spirits to make that person better. Correct? Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. The reason you have a bad negative outlook on witchcraft is because also the other people who wanted to go to the shaman
Mm-hmm.
to get something negative from him also did that. So they say, okay,
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
okay, so they look at all the negative stuff
And
and they
not
don't look
good.
at all the good stuff they did for people.
So, like, okay, as I told you, I watched The Lion King. So Rafiki will be a shaman.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he is,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know if I like that. But he was.
He was,
He
absolutely.
was mixing stuff all the
Yep,
time. He was kind of
absolutely.
seeing the future.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. You
yeah.
hear about all the negative stuff that comes with it, but you don't hear about the good stuff because they could do good stuff.
Can you just so from your hybrid view,
Mhm.
can you see where the problem is? And okay, wait. You know what? I might have answered this in my head. It's like bad preachers, good preachers.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
You get people who will never step foot into a church because they're gonna say, "All they do is talk about money."
Well, you have outlooks on cops.
Oh, you same.
You have good cops. You have bad,
Bad
cops.
cops, but then thanks to our American media, you're only gonna hear the stories about.
Only hear the bad ones.
Well, every now they do good on
Every
Channel-
now and then.
Channel 2, they do good every now and then. I'm like,
Right.
oh, that's a good one.
Saved a kitten from the tree,
Yeah.
Or maybe saving babies. They showed them saving babies now. It was one I was like, man, that cop took it. It was a black baby. He took the baby, white cop. And I was like, this never make national news. And he was saving the crap out of the baby. I was like, dang, and he saved the baby. And he was
Yeah.
like, and he ended up buying them a whole bunch of kids supply. I mean, like children's supply stuff. I'm like, dang, that's just really good. He went beyond. He saved a life. That's good enough. But like to your point, yeah, I can see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
rock with it. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I think this has been good.
Yeah. I
I think this has been good. Anybody have anything else on this episode?
Well, Trey asked me about what was it? Like crystals and
Yeah.
what was the question again?
Yeah, like what? So, are you into crystals and all that, or how do you get down?
So I do have crystals
Uh
and I do some tarot cards.
huh.
And
See, that's what Christian would say. They would start drawing a line. I got you.
Uh-huh. And so that's why Dustin brought up like tools can be used for both.
Uh-huh.
So it really depends on like where you're at,
Okay.
your connectedness
Uh-huh.
to be able to know how you're using those.
Okay.
So for people where like in my family,
Mhm.
I reach out to my cousins and I'm like, hey, let me pull some cards for you or whatever. And they're like, no, I'm so scared.
Right.
And it's like, why are you scared? What are you scared of? It's like,
Right.
I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt you
Right.
because I love you.
Right.
And I just want to give you advice if you need it.
Right.
And a lot of people that like do tarot cards
Uh-huh.
like have a certain layout they do or pull off the top or like have like certain practices, whereas I make it my own
Uh-huh.
because it just flows better for me.
Okay, I got you.
So
So is it so for the people who don't, because the Christian worldview is like, I'm telling you right now, my mom like, no, you better
Right.
not touch a tarot card in your life. That's
Right.
just is I don't know. To
you
me,
shouldn't touch the tarot card.
I don't want to. To be, and so at least in my culture of Southern African American, because I know it's other black people that don't mess with tarot cards. It's Ouija board, tarot cards. Like you didn't touch them. So
Right.
so for me, help me understand what is the purpose of tarot cards? What do they do? Why do people look at them evil?
Well, let me clarify the reason I said you shouldn't touch a tarot card.
Uh-huh.
It's because I don't want your energy on her cards. That's what I mean by that.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't touch them.
That's what I
If you bought me a pack, I'm like,
That's what
Thanks,
I meant
Dustin.
by
That
that.
was
you,
sick.
you shouldn't touch someone else's cards.
is that a rule?
there's even a movie about it.
A movie about tarot cards?
Yeah.
About touching somebody
Yeah.
else's?
Uh-huh.
Does that the
And
person
again, those people start dying.
see it doesn't help it doesn't help my narrative.
You're not helping the argument here, Caitlin.
No,
This is exactly why we don't touch them.
I get it, but
Okay.
that's what I'm saying is like society wants you to be scared. Why? Why do they want you to be scared?
Because people, you just said it, people are dying.
And that's how they control you with fear. You cannot.
I mean, I agree with you saying, but you can't. You convince me right now why tarot cards are not
It's a
evil.
it's a tool.
Just
And
like
it is a
our
tool.
mind is also a tool.
Listen,
I might not be the right person because I'm scared of guns too. And I say scared of guns, I'm saying that loosely. I can shoot. I'm pretty all right.
That-
But I'm saying like I don't own a gun because
tarot
it's a
cards.
tool.
Tarot cards is a tool for someone with a gift given from the higher power to use.
for what
You
purpose?
can use that gift to. They're going to send messages to reveal to you what you need to know through those cards.
Would it be similar to the gift I just said I have, which is
Exactly.
without tarot? My
Yes.
gift is without tarot
Yes.
cards. Yours is maybe with.
Yeah.
Right. So I use the tarot cards because it's easier for people to understand where I'm getting the information.
Uh-huh.
Because it's a physical thing. People don't believe if they don't see.
So then do you need the tarot card to tell somebody that? Or are you just using that for them?
I mostly use it for them.
So wait, so like for instance, right now, if you feeling like the higher power for you is telling you something about me, you can just tell me.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as Trey. That's like, that's no for me. But so I don't really know anything about it. So, I mean, are you shuffling the deck and looking for what you're looking for? Or is it
Is
you
it
just
falling?
take one off the top? Or,
No,
and
so that's what I was saying. Like, I don't pick off the top. I shuffle them and shuffle them and shuffle
so you're
them.
looking for what you already know. You're just looking for the
Is it-
fruit.
And is it chance? Like,
So-
like, how does this work? Yeah, yeah.
So-
I don't know. I don't know. So I'm
Because
asking.
the,
yeah.
the energy,
Mhm.
what you're channeling
Okay.
is what I'm going to call it,
Okay.
is pulling out what needs to be said.
Okay. Okay. And see,
So
that would,
I'm not pulling it out. It's kind of like you said, it's chance.
so you saying, okay, so when you say, see, that word right there, the energy, that's what scares Christians. Because if we thinking if it's coming from this, and this, I'm just saying
Yeah,
from a
no,
Christian perspective, it's either God or not God. And that
So-
not God is,
what's an example of something that's in a tarot card? Like you're going to be pregnant in a week or something? Like what is it? I don't even know.
I know there's a death card up in there. I know that.
So the death card is, they say like they put negative energy towards it, but the death card is not a bad card. It's
So,
like showing new growth, new
besides the death-
opportunity. Like there's an end of a cycle and you're going to come out onto a new cycle kind of thing. It's not like your life is ending or something is tragically going to happen. It's just like there's going to be something that comes up.
And what's an example of another one?
That would shock us. Give us one that would shock us.
I don't know. So there's like lots of them in there that with like self-doubt.
I need to ask a question. I just need an example. I just need an example. It doesn't even have to be something that shocks me. Like I just need an example because I have a question.
So there's like the tent, like they have a major arcana just like regular card,
Uh-huh.
and then they have like different suits, which is like the swords, the wands, and the cups, and they all stand for something different. So like the swords is more of like overcoming or conflict or like something like that, whereas like cups is like yourself, like
Your
they
cup
always say
overfloweth.
like the cup overfloweth, like you're full or you're limiting yourself.
So have you
or-
been in a situation where in your mind you're seeing this person needs a sword, but you pull a cup because you're randomly pulling, and then at that point, do you go with the cup or do you put the cup back and try again?
So I recently did a reading where a lot of times whenever I'm shuffling, if my mind wanders to something that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
a card will come out that regards that situation. And
Say it again.
okay, so I was doing a reading.
Uh-huh.
My phone goes off and it's my husband.
Gotcha.
So I get distracted off base of what I'm doing.
Okay.
Then I'm thinking of my husband. A card comes out and it's the lover's card, which has nothing to do
With that person.
with that person or what I'm trying to do. And I immediately know that that card is for me
Oh, wow.
because that relates to me. I feel my connective energy with that.
So do you put this card back or you
Yes.
put it to the side and then pull again, or what's
No,
the...
I'll put it back in the deck and keep
So
shuffling.
so the cards kind of are
They jump.
conduits of your energy.
Yes. There you go.
See, I'm using the words that I know that would trigger. It's gonna be Christians who listen to this like, why aren't they burning them? To your point,
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, this is interesting because I think it's not even this. I think you might have the gift of privacy, right? And I think
Right.
the tool, there you go,
Mhm.
that you use it is what scares people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
And I'm not terrified, but I'm like, hey, you know, this.
But honestly,
Okay, so
why does it scare you though? It's because you don't fully.
I fully
understand it.
don't. No, and I'm gonna tell
You
you,
don't fully understand it. If you fully understood it,
I mean, and even if I, like, for instance, I understand a lot of good stuff as far as let's say for like this the demon stuff that I told you about, but I don't go poke the devil either.
no.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm more so like, okay, I can understand tarot cards. I might have a little, better understanding, but I'm probably never gonna get a reading.
Nope.
like it just and it's not, do your
No,
thing.
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm more so like it's still spooky, and only because in my growing up, it's always been associated with either voodoo or, excuse me if this is a bad word, gypsies. I just don't know. I got to be political
Wait,
correct.
why is gypsy a bad word?
Hey, man.
I just wondered.
It's a lot of words we used to lose in the 90s that I can no longer use, and I have no idea where we stand politically correctness. I just try to say I'm not trying to offend anyone.
If I would gypsy,
See, you're saying it loosely and without apologizing.
Hey, Stevie Nicks did a whole song about it. You know?
No, you know what?
a good song.
Trey is apologizing to my co-host using the word gypsy if it's offensive. If it's not, carry on. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's always been like, what's that movie? Thin. Was it Thin? Thinner?
Stephen King movie.
Yeah. And the guy who's big and kept getting smaller and smaller. But it was with the.
Why can that not happen to me?
That was for the
You don't want that to happen.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you do not want that to happen. I mean, we probably get to a part where you're like, I'm good, but he kept going.
That
Oh,
guy
wow.
was a jerk.
Yeah, and he was. But didn't he get a tarot card reading or something like that in that
No.
movie?
He offended a gypsy. He wouldn't give
But
her
I
a
thought
loan.
Right, and I thought she played the
refused.
cards and then gave.
He
or she
refused
just
to give
cursed
her a
him.
loan, and she cursed him.
Oh,
just like in
She
that movie
touched it-
Holes.
She touched his face. She touches
Wait.
his face, and she says something, and she
she does. She does. She does. We said movies host with Stephen
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
Oh, I don't know.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shout out to Stephen LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. What's the movie host? Which movie?
Holes where they have to dig the holes.
That's not. Yeah, with Shia LaBeouf,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They had a tarot card reading in it.
No,
Oh,
but it has a
it had the
gypsy
curse.
in it that cursed the people.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
the
the
man.
family with Stanley Yelnats.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
was
It's coming
he was
back.
cursed.
It's
Yeah,
Gypsies are in a lot of movies. Okay, it's coming back.
Did you like
You
Harry
remember-
Potter?
I'm a Christian. We don't watch Harry Potter.
you can't watch Harry
I'm
Potter.
asking, did you like Harry Potter?
I'm a Christian. I don't watch them.
That's not answering my question. Did you like Harry Potter?
I love it. It's very entertaining. I love it. Just if I could have, magic powers, that would be awesome. If I could shoot a wand and do things, do I think this stuff would be cool in the context of the movie? Absolutely.
Did you read the books?
It was banned in my school. But I do have 2 copies in my shelf.
There's real spells in the book.
That's what they tell me. I mean, I don't read it. I don't say the spells out loud. And I'm not a world.
Reading them.
Yeah.
Reading them. Though.
I'm still a Christian, everyone. Just to let you know.
So am I. So am I.
I'm
Just
just
so
saying.
everyone knows.
No, we don't believe in Jesus anymore because you watch Harry Potter. I enjoy Harry Potter.
I'm good over here.
Whoa, Jeremy.
My kids will tell you we've never watched Harry Potter. They're like,
Yeah.
I want to watch it. I'm like, nah, you good.
This is just. I say it's make believe in my world, but I can see why people. I won't rush into it.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Awesome. I learned something new.
yeah. I mean, I did too. Honestly, that's fascinating. I've never actually talked to somebody who does that, so I appreciate you. Taking some questions from the ignorant folk.
Very ignorant, folks.
That's kind of part of the reason I had so many questions about it. As far as like, because when I kind of grew up hearing about that, it was more of just the card is what tells you. Okay, so hearing that you kind of already have that intuition ahead of time, it that's a little different. I don't honestly think everybody's in that position, that plays in that playground, but who knows? I mean, I just from what I've seen, I haven't seen that, or heard that, so it's good to hear a different perspective about it. So
I've seen it. I've seen it. She doesn't. The cards just fly out of the deck. She doesn't control that. So
Well, see,
whatever.
You can't say stuff like that.
Well,
So she's sitting there and the deck starts spitting out cards.
she's
No,
shuffling
I'm
the
shuffling.
deck.
I know. I'm saying that when you say it like that, it sounds like She's sitting there, her hands on the table.
No,
And then you're like, whoa.
No,
what?
no. I mean, like as she's shuffling the deck,
Okay.
as she's shuffling the deck, your card just comes out and lands.
So it's not.
So just tell them about your experience whenever I
Yeah,
did it
she
for
did.
Oh
you.
yeah, we can wrap on this one.
She
Let's,
did
let's
a reading for
see.
me. It was saying how the cards that actually came out was saying how I'm transitioning. It actually said I'm coming to a point.
That's a
in my
charge
life.
word.
A terrible word.
That's a charge. That word is politically charged now. Take that one out of your dictionary. We can't
Scratch
use
that. Try
Right.
again.
How
You're
I'm
changing.
how I'm moving from a point in my life to now I'm actually moving to a light. I'm actually leaving the darkness in my life and moving more toward the light.
Gotcha.
Did you get the
And it
death
was-
card?
it was
Was that what
abs-
you called it?
It was an absolutely correct reading. I
Was it
mean,
the death card? No, I'm just
No.
asking. No,
He didn't
no?
get
Okay.
that in his reading.
And how many cards are in a deck?
72.
Oh wow.
So like my hands are small,
Yeah.
so it's hard to fit a bunch of cards in a hand like that.
So how do you? So you just? How do you? Yeah. 'Cause I
Do
have
you
small
shuffle
hands.
and
I
bridge?
can't.
No,
I
I can't do that.
I did something to my thumb. I cannot do that. My thumb wouldn't even come out anymore.
So much for your dreams of being a dealer in Vegas.
Oh, bro, never. That's like one handed.
but her reading was spot on with everything that I'm actually going through with.
How did you feel afterward? Like, did you feel? How did like? Because she does your reading. Let's say you go into this and you're feeling some type of way. Do you feel better or do you feel worse? What do you feel after you get the reading?
I mean, it actually just told me, it gave me clarity on what I was already thinking and what I was already feeling.
Okay.
And then to actually see that actually fall out there and her explain to me what the cards meant and then tell me apply it to what I'm going through. It was just, like I said, it gave me clarity. It was like, this is actually happening. And the way that it actually connected to those cards was.
Now, do you still go to church?
No, I don't.
I would say there's no way you still go to church. You would definitely be banned from church.
Yeah,
'Cause
well, like back in the day, I asked too many questions. So, because I never really meshed well with our church, I just didn't. My mom made me go,
Yeah.
so I was forced to be there. So to like have something forced on you and then ask questions and then people not want to give you the answer or sit with God with it or pray about it or like that just wasn't a good enough answer to me.
Too. Well, that's what I told you, remember?
Yeah, and I said that's bad pastoring.
And I'm just
pastoring.
like I know, like I have a purpose. Like I'm here to do something. You don't just happen across.
Yeah.
Just to be here. And so I've been told that my purpose is to help spread guidance.
Yeah.
To help bring people to that oneness, that connected energy
Yeah.
to God or.
So, like in a church sense, I would say you probably had gifts of being like a pastoral care type person, which is I'm going to guide you and help you get through life.
Right. So, like I said, my life purpose is to help the vulnerable. So, like that was like a distinct description.
Yeah.
The vulnerable.
Gotcha.
So, which kind of relates to my life and like the people that have come in and out of my life. I've always felt the need to save them.
Gotcha. I got you.
So, like to let them know that they're worthy, that they can create the life that they want. They have to work for it. They have to, they're already there, but they're suffering. They're creating their own suffering.
Right.
And humans have been doing that for eons, creating their own suffering and just wallowing in it and being a victim instead of doing something about it and finding the balance between that suffering and that peace and knowing that the past happened, but you're not living in the past. You're living right now. And as we change internally and our connected energy changes, we are changing our past. That's how come sometimes we remember certain things and sometimes someone will tell you a story and you're like, I don't remember it happening like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have changed. So we have to change our past to reflect how we are now. And a lot of people are also trying to live in the future and trying to plan ahead and trying to do all that. Why do you think that doesn't work? Because God has a plan. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to understand what the plan is or what happened to you. You're supposed to learn and grow from that. Not just be like, why is God doing this to me? And why is he making me suffer? Like, that's not what life is about. He's trying to teach you something. You're supposed to gain something from this, whether it be strength or patience or just a decision that you feel like you made. It's just, and fear has a lot to come into that too. Is like being scared to talk out, which is one of my problems. Is I have fear about talking out. So I'm an observer. So I sit and I observe people and how they interact, because I can feel how they feel when they're talking about certain things. So, like, for example, going to the grocery store or going to the mall is absolutely a nightmare for me, because there's so many people there going through so many different things, and I can feel almost all of it. And it's just very overwhelming. So, like, whenever I go out to go grocery shopping, I get home and I'm like, oh, I just need to go and sit outside or go cleanse or go ground or meditate. And meditation has really been like a big part of like giving myself love to myself, giving me myself time. And it's very important, because if you're not aware of how things are triggering you or how your actions or emotions are feeding into your life, you're not really going to know how to harness those things and to transmute them into something better. And that's just a big thing that's been happening with me, and I'm trying to like explain that slowly to people that I feel like need to hear it. And that was a big reason why, like, I also reached out to Dustin and was like, oh my gosh, I have to come on the podcast and try to talk to people this way. Because like I'm a very like people person, but I also am very sensitive to other people. So I have to be careful as far as like what I share, but I have to try to get them to open up to me before I can open up to them. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say something that's going to trigger them to backlash. So just, and so yeah. I don't know what
I do
else to
feel
say.
I do feel like this is a message though that we both need to tell people, because there's a lot of people that are probably going through the same thing or having the same experiences, and they're not sure what they're feeling or what they're going through, and they think that they're going crazy because they don't think that it's real, and it is real.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to end it for this episode. I appreciate everybody being on, and so next week we'll have a bonus episode in between, but next week is going to be our Halloween episode. I think we're going to dive into, speaking of witches, maybe a little bit of some Salem witch trials and a few other kind of hit the conspiracies from back in the day when they used to try to burn you at the stake because you were, scary, God forbid you're scary. Kind of when you look at how many people were killed for not even, being that is just insanity.
Yeah.
Population control back in the day.
More like being framed.
But we thank everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. And as always, like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to hit the email up on the description, and we'll get you on. If you want to talk to us, we'll be happy to have you on. So thanks again, everybody, for listening.
Yep. Remember,
Thanks for having me.
truth's out there. Read between the lines.